Okay, so Hytale just dropped into early access, and I need to talk about this because this game has the most insane backstory I've ever seen in gaming. And honestly, the game itself is kind of a mess, but also kind of amazing. So here's the deal. Hytale was announced back in 2018 by the Hypixel team, the people who made the biggest Minecraft server ever. And everyone lost their minds because the trailer looked incredible. Then Riot Games bought them in 2020. Everyone thought this was going to be huge, and then in June 2025, they just canceled the whole thing. Fully canceled. Game dead. RIP Hytale. Except wait, because in November 2025, the original creator, Simon Collins LaFlamme, literally bought the game back from Riot with his own money, rehired 50 developers, went back to a 4-year-old build of the game they had sitting around, and launched it into early access on January 13th, 2026. That was literally a week ago. They had 8 weeks to make this playable. 8 weeks. That's absolutely unhinged, and honestly, I respect the chaos energy so much. So naturally, I had to check it out because I wanted to see if this thing was actually fun or if it was just vibes and nostalgia. Standard edition is $20, which is honestly pretty fair for early access. There's also a supporter edition for $35 and a Cursebreaker Founders edition for $70, but those just give you cosmetics and a digital soundtrack, nothing pay to win, which I appreciate. No microtransactions at launch either. They said they might add cosmetics later, but promised no pay-to-win stuff ever. And honestly, after the whole Riot Games thing, I'm glad they're keeping it simple. You can also monetize your own servers and mods with 0% platform fees for the first 2 years, which is actually wild. They're literally not taking a cut from creators right now. That's pretty sick. Okay, so let's talk about what actually works in this game, because there's some genuinely cool stuff here. First off, the world generation is beautiful, genuinely stunning for a voxel game. You've got 4 main zones plus oceans, and each zone has its own theme and difficulty. Zone 1 is Emerald Grove. It's your starting area with forests and plains and swamps. Very pretty, lots of resources. Zone 2 is Howling Sands, which is a desert with oases and canyons and ancient ruins. Zone 3 is Borea, which is this frozen tundra with blizzards and yetis, and it looks amazing, but also everything wants to kill you. Zone 4 is Devastated Lands, which is volcanic wastelands with lava and dinosaurs. Yes, dinosaurs. They just added them in the first update 4 days after launch, which is pretty hype. Each zone gets progressively harder, and the game actually guides you through this progression instead of just dropping you in an empty world and saying, figure it out, which I really like. The building tools in creative mode are actually insane. You have these scripted brushes that let you paint entire mountains into existence. You can use prefabs to copy and paste structures. There's a machinima tool for making videos with camera movement and keyframes. You can spawn over 100 different NPC models, and the whole thing feels more like using Unreal Engine than Minecraft creative mode. It's clearly designed for content creators and modders, and honestly, if you're into that stuff, this is probably worth the $20 just for the creative tools alone. The modding support is legit too. They partnered with Blockbench for 3D modeling and CurseForge for mod distribution. You can make mods using Java plugins or just use the in-game asset editor without coding. And there's already a bunch of mods out there fixing bugs and adding content, which is pretty cool. Combat is way more complex than I expected. It's not just clicking. You have stamina management, charge attacks, dodge rolls with invincibility frames, signature moves that you build up by landing hits, and each weapon type has completely different movesets. Swords are balanced and versatile, maces are slow but have massive knockback, daggers are super fast and can stun lock enemies, which is honestly kind of broken right now. Spears have range, and there's magic too, with different schools for offense, defense, and utility. Enemies actually have attack patterns and behaviors instead of just walking at you, and boss fights feel more like actual MMO encounters than survival game combat. When it works, it feels pretty satisfying, like there's actual skill involved. The memory system is this cool mechanic where you discover creatures and locations and unlock rewards by documenting them, which encourages exploration instead of just grinding resources in one spot. You can tame horses for travel, there's farming and cooking. The crafting system is pretty standard but functional, and honestly, when all the systems come together and you're exploring a new biome, fighting dinosaurs in an underground jungle beneath a volcano, it does feel pretty magical. But okay, let's talk about the bad because oh boy, there is a lot of bad. This is early access in the truest sense, like they literally say it's rough and unfinished, and they were not lying. The game crashes a lot, like every 30 to 60 minutes for some people, especially if you have an NVIDIA GPU. There's memory leak issues, the launcher has authentication problems, people get stuck on waiting for chunks, there's this bug where your screen just turns blue and you can't see anything and you have to wait it out. FPS drops are common, servers crash every 30 minutes on high population, which is why there's already community mods just to fix the crashes. The first few days were rough, with login issues and server stability problems, though they've been patching it pretty aggressively. Combat hitboxes are still janky sometimes, like you'll swing at an enemy and it just won't register, or you'll get hit by something that visually missed you. The UI is pretty bare bones, and there's no way to see weapon stats anywhere, which is kind of ridiculous. You just have to guess which weapon is better based on the damage numbers that pop up during combat. Game balance is all over the place. Daggers can permanently stun lock most enemies, so you can just cheese through everything. Bear traps completely freeze boss AI, so you can trap a boss and kill it for free, and some weapons feel way weaker than others with no clear reason why. There's no adventure mode yet, that's coming later with story and deeper progression and dungeons with actual narrative. Right now you just have exploration mode, which is basically procedurally generated survival with some objectives scattered around. The world generation is on version 1, which they say is old and limited. Version 2 is in development and will completely replace it eventually, but for now you're stuck with the prototype version from like 2020. A lot of features are just missing, like there's no official minigames yet, no proximity voice chat, no friend lists, no Steam version. You have to use their own launcher and buy it from their website only. The modding tools are in a decent state, but they admit they're not where they want them long term, and the documentation is incomplete. The whole game feels like it was built in 8 weeks, which it literally was, so you can see the rough edges everywhere. Performance can be pretty bad depending on your setup, and the devs acknowledge there are early performance bugs they're working on. Also, if you're expecting a polished Minecraft competitor, this ain't it, Chief. This is a prototype that got rescued from cancellation and shoved out the door as fast as possible so people could play it.
So, fun or refund? Is Hytale worth $20 in early access? Honestly, it depends what you want. If you want a finished, polished game with tons of content and no bugs, refund. Do not buy this yet, wait like a year. If you're impatient and hate dealing with crashes and jank, also refund. But if you're into early access chaos and want to watch a game get built in real time, if you're a content creator or modder who wants to get in early with the creative tools, if you're a Minecraft veteran who wants more complex combat and progression systems, or if you just want to support the absolute mad lad energy of a dev team that bought their own game back from a giant corporation and launched it in 8 weeks, then yeah, this is actually pretty fun. The foundation is solid, the vision is clear, they're updating fast, and when it works, it genuinely feels like something special. I've put in like 30 hours already, and despite all the crashes and bugs, I keep coming back because exploring those zones and fighting bosses and building stuff in creative mode is just satisfying in a way that scratches a very specific itch. Is it better than Minecraft right now? No. Will it be eventually? Maybe, if they actually follow through on all the planned features. For $20, you're basically buying a ticket to watch game development happen live and play an unfinished but promising sandbox RPG at the same time. I'm giving it a fun with the understanding that you know exactly what you're getting into. This is early access. Expect bugs, expect crashes, expect placeholder systems and missing features, but also expect something genuinely unique with a ton of potential. If that sounds good to you, grab it. If not, wishlist it and check back in 6 months. Either way, the fact that this game exists at all after being fully canceled is kind of a miracle, and I'm rooting for these devs to pull it off.